This is the new scariest thing in Minecraft, and it was just added in the snapshot today. Plus, there's some other Minecraft news with behind the scenes of Mounts Mayhem and more Java Vibrant Visuals news, so let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing is right behind me, which is the reverse Michael Jackson camel. We now have a brand new version of the camel that spawns in deserts. It's a brand new mount in Mounts of Mayhem. It is very similar to how the zombie horse spawns in the plains biome and savanna biome, but this one is just a mount exclusive for the desert biome when it spawns at night. It's only hostile when being ridden by other hostile entities, but other than that, it's a regular mount that you can ride. It will despawn in day, however, but will not burn in the daylight, so that's a win. Also, if I freeze the tick again, look it's not just a retextured camel, it's a remodeled camel. You can see through it, which is really weird because if I punch the camel, make it red, you can see the rider's legs on the inside of the camel. That's totally not creepy, right? Now, before it gets too close today, you might have noticed something else. It's a nice wet skeleton. Actually, he's not wet at all. You could even say he's a little parched. Also, tell me that that's not the best model for a skeleton or the best name for a skeleton. That's just awesome. Much like how we have zombified husks in the desert, we now have, well, if the skeleton would face me, we now have a skeleton husk variant thingy. I honestly think this new parched is my second favorite skeleton variant besides the brand new bogged from, well, I guess a couple years ago now. But yes, with that, we do have brand new mounts in Mounts of Mayhem. They said more Mayhem was coming, but that no more mounts were coming, but here come more mounts. It was actually really cool. I was making an ideas video, kind of like what I did for back at the spring drop video, and one of the community ideas was more mounts like, hey, an undead camel, and oh my gosh, it actually exists now. And a new version of the skeleton I'm never going to complain about. I think now we need an Arctic version of the zombie. Now, for which spawn egg is the husked and which spawn egg is the parched, could maybe use a little more differentiating, but overall I think it's pretty good. They're both the desert versions of the zombie and skeleton, which is pretty cool. And as I continue on my rant, it's not just a camel that is a zombie camel, but it's actually a husked camel as opposed to just being a zombie camel. I think it could honestly just be called a zombie camel, but at any rate, I do really love it. Now on top of that, another feature is you can now ride your horses across rivers, which is something you couldn't do before. Before they would sink, and then you would be unmounted from your mount. That is also now a new mount feature in this whole Mounts of Mayhem. I really do appreciate all these changes in this snapshot. Now, let's go back. Earlier this week, they released a new article that was kind of just hidden under all the other fun things going on in the Minecraft world, but they did release an article saying the road to vibrant visuals on Java. This is a brand new update with how that is going, because of course, they released it on Bedrock and said, yeah, we don't really know what we're doing with Java. We'll get back to you later. Well, this is a little update from behind the scenes. Of course, right now they're actively multi-threading everything, which means that the actual physical smarts of the game is different than the visuals of the game in terms of how your computer processes them. So that way, they're separate. They're multi-threads instead of just single threads. But right now, they kind of have entities on their separate thread and now are actually working on the physical chunks themselves. So that's an update. They are working on it. I've personally been getting worried. It's like, is there actually something going on behind the scenes, or are we just left completely cold turkey? But no, this is proof that something is actually being worked on behind the scenes. That makes me happy, and I can't wait for it to actually start coming out to Java. I know Java Vibrant Visuals will be much different than Bedrock Edition, just because of the way the two versions have to be. But I am glad that things are being worked on towards that. Now, another thing that had changed was that whole lunge enchantment that the community seemed to kind of hate was now changed that, well, you can actually use hunger instead of it using durability, which overall seems to be a lot better. They continued even tweaking it in this snapshot here today. So the lunge enchantment is definitely not set in stone, and feedback is being listened to, so that's something else really cool that's going on. And then the last thing I have for you is a little bit of self-advertising. Since it is the week of Halloween, I encourage you to go check out my Halloween map. Even if you don't download it, I'd recommend checking out the video. I spent a lot of time working on it, and I think it's pretty cool, so at least check it out, get festive, get Halloweeny. That, of course, is linked in the description with all the links, of course, as always, in the description below. But with that, that is everything. What do you think about the new mounts in the Mounts of Mayhem? I actually really do love that new parched skeleton variant. I think that's my new favorite thing in this entire drop, which sounds dumb, but I don't know. It just hits me. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. But with that, like I said, that is everything. So see you in the next one. Adios.